Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. You are live with Endeavor Gaming. Today we'll be ranking the ships released this year in Star Trek Online. This is the 2024 Starship Awards. We've had an absolutely amazing lineup of starships this year, thanks to the ship art and system teams, so let's take a minute to thank them and go through our contenders. Starting with the Rex Alliance Pilot Escort, the Orion Devar Temporal Science Vessel, the Awani Command Carrier, the Atlantis Temporal Destroyer, the Chekhov Intel Science Warship, the Princeton Miracle Worker Cruiser, the Duderstadt Miracle Worker Science Spearhead, the Kelvin Timeline Constitution 2, the Vralis Temporal Science Destroyer, the Lola Intelligence Science Destroyer, and the Kardashev Command Science Destroyer, the Aetherian Revelation Intelligence Science Vessel, the Credence Miracle Worker Dreadnought Cruiser, the Vovan Obelisk Carrier, the Achilles Miracle Worker Heavy Destroyer, the Premonition Temporal Science Vessel, the Typhon Command Escort Carrier, the Hirogen Predator Pilot Heavy Escort, the Nova 1 Pilot Raider, the Typhoon Temporal Battle Cruiser, the Lamar Temporal Science Dreadnought, the Arior Miracle Worker Juggernaut, the Ilios Intelligence Scout Vessel, and the Obena Miracle Worker Heavy Cruiser. In my opinion, this has been one of the best years for starships in Star Trek Online. We had banger after banger of Zenstor ships, with the 14th anniversary bundle giving us ships from Wolf 359, finally getting T6 variants of the Dyson Science Destroyers, and then the Heritage bundle, which was by far one of the coolest additions to Star Trek Online. We also had some great offerings in the free ship section, with ships like the Rex and, of course, the Typhoon being a fan favorite this year. And even for our promo and lockbox ships, we had a lot of really cool ones. The Kelvin Constitution 2 is one of my favorites to fly around. The Credence console is absolutely awesome. And the Obena is just a ton of fun. But without further ado, let's start getting into our awards. Starting with our award for Best C-Store Ship, our nominees: the Awani class, the Atlantis class, the Princeton class, the Chekhov class, our three Dyson Science Destroyers, the Ralis, Lola, and Kardashev, and our three ships from the Heritage Bundle, the Typhon, Achilles, and Premonition. And the winner of the Best C-Store Ship is the Achilles class Miracle Worker Heavy Destroyer. This is an absolutely fantastic ship. It's a lot of fun for cannon builds. It brings one of the coolest and best performing experimental weapons to the game, the prototype phaser hexacannons, as well as having what I just recently found out is a really fun console in those auxiliary torpedo launchers. This one has been a personal favorite of mine throughout the year. My girlfriend flies it. I keep going back to it. It's currently my record holder in ISE, and I can't think of any ship that deserves it more, besides maybe the Atlantis class. That one was a very close second, but the Achilles just managed to scratch it out. Overall, it brings a lot to the table, and this has been my favorite C-Store ship of the year. For our next category, the best free ship of 2024, our nominees are the Rex class, the Vovan Obelisk Carrier, the Typhoon, and the Ilios. And the winner is the Typhoon Temporal Battle Cruiser. This has been an absolutely fantastic ship. It's been wildly popular ever since its debut, and in my opinion, is one of the coolest ships we've gotten in 2024. The Ilios has a really fun console as does the Vobin. And the Rex has been a ton of fun to fly, but none of them hold a candle to just how much fun the Typhoon is as a platform. A new category for 2024, we are ranking the best revamps and remasters of Starships from this year. We got a new Exeter, Quasar, Aurora, Rapier, Jupiter, and Horizon. These ships have all been absolutely fantastic to see. But the winner of the best revamp remaster of 2024 is none other than the Horizon class science vessel. This one looks absolutely amazing. The new glass ball for the saucer is so cool, and it's just been a ton of fun to fly around it. It was one of my favorite videos to work on. I had to go with the Horizon class for the best revamp or remaster. Next, we have our best beam platform. This one had a lot of ships in this category. There were a ton of ships from 2024 that I did some kind of beam build on just to see how it would perform. So, for our nominees, we have the Rex, the Princeton, the Duderstadt, the Kelvin Constitution 2, the Aetherian Revelation, the Credence, the Premonition, the Typhoon, the Aerior Juggernaut, and the Obana. And the winner is the Credence class Miracle Worker Dreadnought. This one was honestly a really, really hard choice. I enjoyed my Surgical Strikes build on the Kelvin Constitution 2. It's a ton of fun to fly. It's a great looking ship. But the Credence as a Miracle Worker Dreadnought cruiser offered a lot of the things I love about the Lexington, but with a 5-3 weapons layout that is just unbeatable. Having 5 forward facing weapons gives a lot more options when I'm doing my beam builds, which gave it just a little bit of an edge over the Kelvin Constitution 2. Next, we have our best cannon platform. This one was also a really hard one to decide on because there were 2 ships that definitely stood out above basically the rest of them. But our nominees are the Orion Devar, the Atlantis class, the Rallus, the Lola, the Achilles, the Nova 1, the Typhon, the Typhoon, the Hirogen Predator, and the Juggernaut. The winner of Best Cannon Platform of 2024 is none other than the Atlantis class. This one was probably the hardest one to decide because the Atlantis class is probably the best platform we got for cannons, but the Achilles is also really good, and it's got such a great experimental weapon. It was such a close one, and I really, really love my CSV build on the Typhoon, don't get me wrong, but it came down between the Atlantis and the Achilles, and the Atlantis just had a little bit of an edge in its setup. For our next category, we have the best science platform. Now, I don't do as much science as I used to, but I wanted to do this one justice. I asked around, I tried to fly as many of these ships as I had. I believe I had all of them, which made it a lot easier, except for the Orion Devar that I had over on Tribble. But our nominees for this one are the Orion Devar, the Awani, the Chekhov, the Duderstadt, the Lola, the Rallus, the Kardashev, the Vovin, the Premonition, and the Lamar. And this one also came down to 2. The winner of the best science platform of 2024, I gave to the Lamar class, but I would be a horrible person if I did not mention how great of a platform I think that the Chekhov is. The only reason that the Lamar got a little bit of an edge from me is because I just enjoyed flying it a lot more. The Chekhov is great, but the Lamar just something about it clicked. I really loved having the hangar bay. It came with the Nova Flyers Mark II, that Pundus model that looked absolutely awesome. Throwing the Type 7 shuttles on there, you get a nice damage resistance debuff. I just enjoyed flying it a little bit more, but it was a very, very, very close one between the Lamar and the Chekhov. For our next award, the best torpedo platform of 2024. For this one, I really went with all of the ships that had heavy command seating. those are just my bread and butter when it comes to doing torpedo builds. So we have the Awani, the Kardashev. We added the Premonition as a side tor platform, the Typhon, and the Typhoon. While the Typhoon doesn't have primary command seating either, I did see a couple of people running torp builds on them, and they seem to enjoy them. But our winner, and this was an easy one for me, is the Typhon class. This ship was so much fun to put a torpedo on. It's been my go-to in things like Battle of Corfez. It's the battle brick. It just lobs out torpedoes. It's a lot of fun to fly. It's not super slow. You got a ton of hangar pets with it. It's just a fun ship. The Kardashev was also pretty fun, but that one leans a little bit more into the science than into the torpedo, so I had to give it to the Typhon here. For our next award, the best lockbox ship of 2024. We had quite a few lockbox ships this year. We had one new lockbox and a bunch of Infinity expansions. So we had the Orion Devar, the Duderstock class, the Aetherian Revelation, the Nova 1, the Juggernaut, the Credence, and the Obana, which is an absolutely awesome set of ships. Unfortunately, it was really, really hard to choose a favorite. But my favorite lockbox ships this year, I gotta go with the Credence class. The Credence is so much fun to fly. Like I mentioned earlier in the beam platform vote, it's a great ship, 5 through weapon layout. It's basically everything I wanted the Lexington to be, which is basically just exactly what it is with a 5 through layout instead of a 4-4. And it's got a fantastic console that's made its way onto basically every build that I have at this point. I mean, the Credence won this one. If I had to rank a second one, it would probably be the Duderstadt. I had a lot of fun flying that ship. I think it looks amazing, and it's one of my favorite designs from Picard Season 3. For our best promotional ship of 2024, we have two offerings, the Kelvin Constitution 2 and the Lamar. The winner of this one is none other than the Kelvin Constitution 2. I love this ship so much. I had been waiting to get the Enterprise A from Star Trek Beyond forever, and it finally got added to the game. I had never been so excited. The console looks amazing. It's a ton of fun to fly. The only thing I could ever change about this thing is making it 5-3 instead of 4-4, but still, it's a great ship. I love flying it. I love the Kelvin Timeline ships, and the Kelvin Constitution 2 is my go-to promo ship of 2024. Our next award will be for Best Space Barbie. Now, this is one that's highly, highly subjective, but I decided to ask around with some of the moderators and admins over on my server to kind of get an idea of what people would want to fly from a Space Barbie perspective, and we got it narrowed down to these nominees: the Princeton, Kelvin Constitution 2, the Vovin, the Typhon, the Premonition, the Lamar, and the Duderstadt. And after taking a quick vote, the winner was the Premonition. It wasn't honestly the one that I had originally gone for. I'm a huge fan of the Princeton, as many of you already know. But the Premonition is the sort of ship that just screams going out on an adventure in the Star Trek universe. It has the design of the Sovereign class, but you get to mess around with temporal mechanics. You can create your own adventure in this ship. So the Premonition ended up winning our award for Best Space Barbie of 2024. Moving on to our first fan vote on this video, the fan favorite starship of 2024 is none other than the Typhoon Temporal Battlecruiser. Unsurprisingly, this has been a wildly popular ship in Star Trek Online, an event ship that everyone could get for free by taking part in the Dimensional Typhoon event earlier this year. It's a really solid temporal ship with a 5-through weapon layout, the spiritual successor to a ship people have wanted in game for over a decade at this point. I mean, what's not to love about the Typhoon class battlecruiser? This has been one of my favorites from the year too, and I just can't go wrong with it. It's such a great ship. For our second to last award here of the night, I have added a new category called Endeavor's Pick, where I choose the ship that, while it didn't win any other awards, has been a personal favorite of mine to the point where I wanted to be able to give it a shout out here on the awards. And that is the Princeton class Miracle Worker Cruiser. I don't know what it is about the ship, but I have always been a massive fan of its design. I love Miracle Worker ships, and yeah, it's 4-4. It's not the best ship, but it's one I keep going back to for some reason. It's a great ship that I test my builds on for directed energy weapons. It's just fun. It strikes me as a ship that is the culmination of a lot of different things coming together. You know, we had the Miracle Worker cruisers with the Scott and the Tucker. They were very raw designs, and the Princeton feels like all of the stuff that they learned from those ships sort of accumulated into a single vessel that is amazing. The Princeton's one of my favorites. I just keep going back to it, and it's a great ship from the Zen store in my opinion. Without further ado, it is time to crown the 2024 Ship of the Line. The ship that is winning this award is one that has won multiple things throughout this video, has been a fan favorite since it came out, and will probably be one of the most popular ships in the years to come. And that is none other than the Typhoon class Temporal Battlecruiser. I can't hype up this ship enough. It's just so cool that we finally got this thing in game. I remember seeing the Star Dancer way back when in Fluid Dynamics and wanting that ship to be one that I could fly. You could call it in as a reinforcement, and that's when things really got real. And now we have a playable one. Massive shout outs to the ship team and the systems team for making such an amazing ship and making so many amazing ships in 2024. I can't wait to see what the future holds. Oh, this is going to be fun. What was your favorite Starship in 2024? Let me know in the comments below. We have a Discord server where we'll be talking about all the ships from 2024, as well as some theories about what's to be expected in 2025. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel with that red button right below. It'll give you updates on all the cool things that we do. I'm planning to do more videos like this, and we always have our beautiful ship videos that should be coming out every week in 2025. Well, that's all I've got, everybody. I hope you all have had a fantastic 2024 and can't wait to kick off 2025 with you all. As always, you have been live with Endeavor Gaming, and remember to keep calm and game on.